Hi, brass and woodwind players. In this video, I'm going to show you some of the Smartmusic features that are meant to help you practice better, and learn more, and make your time practicing more efficient. Because that's what it's all about: is practicing efficiently. So we've got on the main menu here, we've got the word tracks, we've got my takes, assessment, loop, and display. I'm going to go ahead and start with tracks. And this is like what a typical exercise might look like. It's the trumpet part. I'm doing a trumpet part because trumpet is my main instrument. So the first thing that we have on the tracks menu is the ability to adjust volume for accompaniment, for my part, and for metronome. And you can stop any of those from playing back the audio just by clicking on the orange speaker. And you can also adjust volume levels with the slider. So we're going to go ahead right now and hit play and listen to what Smartmusic sounds like on this exercise with all of the sliders turned on. Okay, so that's what it sounds like with all the parts playing, so that you can hear what it's supposed to sound like when you learn it correctly. We can adjust our tempo right over here. You'll notice it says 63. That's 63 beats happening every minute. That's what a tempo number means, how many beats per minute. We're going to increase this a little bit by hitting the plus sign. And we're going to go to about 82 right now. You could also highlight that out and use the numbers on your keyboard to change the tempo, especially if you're making bigger tempo changes. I'm going to put the cursor back at the beginning, and let's hear, let's say that you're practicing and you can't really hear your part. You want to hear what just your part is supposed to sound like. Let's go ahead and turn off accompaniment and hit play. So now you know what your notes are supposed to sound like, and you're not being hindered with the sound of the accompaniment part. But that is one of the nice things about Smartmusic, is that you can actually play with full band accompaniment and not just your own part at home. So once you feel comfortable playing along with the actual instrument sound that you play, you can go ahead and turn your accompaniment back on. Let's talk about metronomes. Metronomes help you keep time, and that's the clicking that you hear in the background. When it clicks with just the quarter notes, as it was doing, that's keeping just quarter note time. If you'd like to hear the speed of the eighth note, you can click subdivisions on, and you'll hear it break the beat down even further, subdivide the beat. And again, back to no subdivisions. And I would always just recommend you leaving metronome on, as it does aid you in keeping proper time. So that is a lot of what's going on under the tracks menu. I want to show you one other feature here, and that's the tuner. I'm going to talk more about this in my third training video here for Smartmusic. But basically, you always want to tune your instrument before you start playing or practicing, so that not only do you sound in tune, which is the most important thing, making sure instrument sounds like as it should, but it'll also help Smartmusic register your correct or incorrect notes more accurately if you tune first. But we'll come back to that. My Takes keeps track of all of your recordings. So as you practice and record yourself with this menu here, I don't have any recordings done yet. You'll be able to listen to and hear all of your different recordings. Assessment, there's really not anything under this menu for you that I need to show you at this time. You just want to make sure that the show assessment box is checked. Loop is kind of a nice feature if, let's say, there's two measures in this selection that are really giving you trouble. When the loop is on and then you press set, you see these handlebars come up, and you can find those two measures that give you a lot of trouble. And Smartmusic will just keep going over and over these two measures. It won't have you practice the whole thing. So it'll just keep looping this spot here and give you extra practice where you need to. And you can stretch these handlebars to whichever segment of music that you need to practice the most. Then, of course, when you've nailed that and you got this highlighted part down, you can clear that out and go back to practicing the entire tune. That's our school bell ringing here, so I'm just about out of time right now. Finally, display. You can turn on or off, highlighting which measure you're in, but I recommend leaving that on. I find that to be a helpful tool. You can also change how the cursor follows the music. It defaults to following the beat, and this is the cursor, this blue line here. That's what I refer to as the cursor. It shows you which note you should be playing and when. I personally prefer flow cursor, but you can experiment with these three different choices or no cursor to see what you prefer. Again, I would choose one of these three cursors. I would not practice without the cursor. I think that the cursor helps you to follow where you should be within the music. Finally, if you're playing and you're not sure what the note is supposed to sound like, if you highlight the note, I'll highlight this note here, and you click on these little circles that showed up here on the left. Excuse me, that we'll get to that one in a minute. Let's do the one with the little speaker. It plays for you what that note should sound like. So then you can play it on your instrument and you can see if you're matching or not. And then let's say you just forgot what keys or buttons to press down to play that note accurately. You can click over here on these little buttons or keys, and a little fingering chart will pop up and it will show you which keys or buttons you should be pressing down to play that note. So rather than digging out your fingering chart, you can just click that little circle and you'll see how you should have played that note. So a nice little time-saving feature there. All right, so that's it for this lesson. I'm going to come back in my third part and actually do some practicing with Smartmusic and help you through the practicing and submitting assignments process.